Hi everyone and welcome to my long-awaited vlog. Would you believe it's been a decade since I last embarked on this journey, and here's a quick throwback for you.
Hi everyone, my name is Jason Ray and welcome to the first video blog.
So the reason for these vlogs is to share with you my world as a professional magician, talk to you about what I get up to, show you some magic, answer some questions, and talk to you about how I can make your event the best yet. I'm also going to share with you some real world stories, some funny and some just outrageous. I want to be an open book and really share with you what it's really like away from the glitz and glamour and the positive posts you see on social media. See this as a backstage pass into my life and what it's really like to be a performer, a business owner and an entertainer all over the UK and beyond. So, let's catch up. So a lot has happened in 10 years, let me tell you. I now have 2 children, I've got Ronnie and Frankie, and I will try and get them on one of these vlogs in the future. I've been married to my wife Zoe for 9 years. We've got 2 dogs, Mavis, which is my dog, and Betsy, which is Zoe's. We have 2 cats, Luna and Percy, and 2 retired rabbits. And looking back to the last time I did a vlog like this, I have aged, and yes, I have put weight on. However, I'm very proud to say I'm going through a bit of a health kick, and since January this year, I've joined the gym and I'm now trying to do all I can to get the dad bod in shape. Zoe, my wife, runs all the admin sides of things, so if you do get in touch, it will probably be her that you speak to. She normally checks my availability and she confirms and finalises bookings. She also runs all the social media content on all the social channels, so again, if you do get in touch, she will happily take care of you. So, enough talking for now, it's time to do a little bit of magic.
That is your ring, yeah? Out of everybody in the group, who can I trust the most out of you all, would you say? Just one person, preferably. Can I trust you? Will you keep your hand on my wall? Is it back on your finger? Would have been good though, wouldn't it? So every time, lift your hand up for me. Because inside my wall over here.
No way. Yeah.
And it's your ring inside. Oh no, your ring's a bit there, yeah? Oh, sorry, hold on. Oh, sorry, hold on. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Oh, sorry. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Sorry. A little bit. Do you know what's happened? It's gone backwards. It should have been inside the envelope. It was a little. What was inside? A mint.
Oh, it's not in there. It's not in there. I'm not having it. Let me feel. Look. You're lying. It's not. Hey, why didn't you let us film that?
Yes.
Hey, why if I went to bar at the wrong time on Chef Meat? No, I'm not having it.
You missed all of that.
How did I miss that?
You missed everything.
Wow, it's like real magic, isn't it?
So, what a great start to the year it's been, and I do feel like I've hit the ground running since Christmas, which only seems like 2 minutes ago, but we're now heading into the end of April. It's scary where time has gone. I've had lots of performances right across the UK, I've done lots of weddings, I've done birthday parties, awards evenings, and all my usual residencies across Lancashire. And there are some highlights to talk about as well. Firstly, the launch event for Gino Campo's restaurant at Innside by Melia in Manchester, and Gino was there to welcome guests and mingle with them, and it's fair to say he was on fine form and really spent most of the night chatting, having his picture taken, and just enjoying the party atmosphere. I have been very fortunate to perform at a few different events with Gino, including various launch evenings and an evening with Gino as well. Now, I highly recommend an evening with Gino, as you not only get to enjoy a 3-course meal, but you get to chat to Gino one-on-one, you get to have your picture taken with him, enjoy his company and ask as many questions as you like. The atmosphere is always buzzing, and with various locations around the UK, including London, Manchester, Liverpool and Newcastle, there's a Gino restaurant near you. So the second highlight was an evening with Ryan Giggs at Hotel Football, and for this one I was booked to perform during the drinks reception and in between courses. There was a great interview with Andy Powell, who spoke with Ryan about getting into football, being the most decorated Manchester United player, working under the best football manager in history, Sir Alex Ferguson, and of course life after football. And it was great because there were lots of familiar faces present in the audience who I see on match days at Hotel Football, and even some special guests as well, including Mickey Thomas and Fred the Red. Now, if you're a Manchester United fan and looking for matchday hospitality away from Old Trafford, then Hotel Football is the place to go. And again, I've been really fortunate enough to work with Hotel Football for a number of years now. It's situated just outside Old Trafford, and the matchday hospitality is the best. I get to mingle around table to table. There's a 3-course meal, unlimited drinks, Q&A with an ex-player. You get a quiz, an auction and a photo booth all before kick-off. And there's more. After the game, you get to go back to Hotel Football to unwind, have some much needed drinks depending on the result, and enjoy the matchday atmosphere further. Another highlight was a launch event for Bierkellar at Printworks in Manchester, and I was booked to perform after the food had been served and before the DJ got the party in full swing. Last time I was at Printworks, the site was pretty much a building site. There was scaffolding up everywhere, there were lots of temporary routes, you couldn't see anything for scaffolding really, to be honest with you, but it has gone through a £27 million total refurbishment and now contains the largest digital ceiling in Europe. It is huge, 1,000 metre squares to be precise, and the results are truly stunning. They've drafted in 9 actors, 8 dancers, 6 dogs, 4 rabbits, 3 snakes, 3 swimmers, 2 tarantulas, 1 baby and 1 Coronation Street star, and these were all filmed for over 250 hours to create the content that will be shown on the ceiling at various times throughout the year. Lighting and sound effects and digital gaming screens have also been added, so anyone passing by can use the phones to play multiplayer games against each other. It really is something special, and honestly, it has to be seen to be believed. But back to Bierkellar. The venue is split into 3 parts, although from the outside you think it's just a small bar. It's quite deceiving. Once you enter, you see there's a lot more than meets the eye. The Bierkellar, which is the heart of the venue, this is where you can eat, drink and party all night. And due to the large size, it's perfect for holding larger events like corporate functions, and there's various packages available to suit you and your party's needs. Then you've got the lodge, and this is where I was performing. This is more of a relaxed cocktail and beer bar. It's a more intimate setting and a great environment to start your evening where you can catch up with friends before the partying begins. And then you've got the Shooters. This is the ultimate immersive sports bar equipped with bar games, beer on tap and a pitch-side atmosphere. And overall, in a venue with food, drinks, darts, pool, beer pong, comedy nights, music nights and live events, it is absolutely fantastic. It has something for everyone, and with so much happening, every visit makes for a different and unique experience. Now, I'm super excited to talk about this one. I am a huge Concorde fan, and I was super excited to perform at the Concorde Conference Centre for an awards evening which sits at the end of the runway at Manchester Airport. I was booked to perform from 10 PM onwards, which is when the awards had ended, and I got to mingle around, entertain guests who were enjoying after-dinner drinks in the bar area, which sat directly under Concorde. Due to where the conference centre is situated, arriving on site, you can see and hear the roar of the planes taking off and landing, and it really does create an experience like no other. The conference centre venue provides a stunning backdrop to any event, and it's certainly ideal for large conferences, product launches, gala dinners, weddings, exhibitions, and of course meetings. And taking centre stage in the purpose-built hangar is Concorde GBOAC, which is the flagship of the British Airways fleet. Known as Alpha Charlie, she became only the 2nd aircraft to join the UK's Concorde fleet when she was delivered to British Airways on the 13th of February in 1976. She's flown over 22,000 hours, she's landed over 7,500 times, and she's done over 6,500 supersonic flights. On the 1st of September 1975, Alpha Charlie became the first aircraft to make 4 Atlantic crossings in one day. She was the first Concorde in commercial service to land on US soil in Washington on the 24th of May 1976, and on the 19th of December 1985 she travelled at a staggering 1,488 miles per hour, which is the highest recorded ground speed for a commercial airliner. To mark 10 years in service, 4 British Airways, including Alpha Charlie, flew in formation over the Atlantic. Now, away from events, you are able to book tours on Concorde, where you actually get a chance to sit on board, learn more about her history, and see why nothing compared to Concorde class. The viewing park at the conference centre in itself is a great place to go for all plane enthusiasts, and I have had many a great day out there as a child, including watching Concorde take off and land when she was in service. And there's so much to do. There's rides for the kids, there's a play area, there's food, there's drinks, and there's various planes you're able to go in and explore inside. And on top of all that, you get to see all the planes taking off and landing at the airport as well. Okay, so this part of the vlog, I thought it'd be good just to answer a few common questions that I get asked all the time. First question is, do I have public liability insurance? And the answer is, of course I do. As a performer, it is really important that I do have insurance in case it is needed. Touch wood, it never has. But I am a member of Equity, which covers me for about, I think it's up to like £30 million or something like that. But I have had that question asked quite a few times recently. Normally it would be the event organiser that would get in touch directly with me and ask for a copy. Some venues that I've worked at already have a copy on file. But if you do need a copy, you can go to my website, which is jasonraymagic.com. Scroll down to the very bottom of the homepage where there is a link that takes you to a PDF copy that you can either download or you can print directly. But if you are struggling, like I say, pop me a message or an email and I'm more than happy to supply you with that. So, how did I get started in magic? Question I get asked all the time. How did it all begin? Have I always done magic? Was it always the dream? I started magic when I was about 8 years old. I was given a Paul Daniels magic set for my birthday. It had 30 tricks in, I think it was, something like that. My auntie gave me a magic book, which was a Harry Houdini book of magic, which I've still got to this day. And that kind of set me off on the magic course. However, the real dream and ambition was actually to be an actor. I went to drama school from a young age because I was incredibly shy, and that totally changed my life, which I'll talk more about in another vlog. But from that, I started performing in theatre shows. I then managed to get an agent and I started doing small bits on television. But it wasn't until I was about, I'd probably say I was about 16 when the magic bug really caught hold. I went to New York, and on the way back at JFK Airport, I saw a magician performing close-up magic. Now, I'd never seen close-up magic before, and certainly never experienced it, because I'd grown up with the likes of Paul Daniels, David Copperfield, Penn and Teller, who were obviously performing on stage. So to have a magician perform magic on me personally, it was just fantastic. And it was at that moment when I knew I wanted to become a magician. And I literally put every single minute that I had into practicing magic. When I was in a full-time job, I was literally coming home from work. I was then practicing magic till the early hours, 3 and 4 in the morning, and then obviously getting up at 7 o'clock to go to work and do it all again. I was absolutely obsessed. I didn't go to college after school. I did go to college slightly later, but in my mind it was, I want to be a magician. And I sacrificed everything, you know. Friends used to say, are you coming out, Jason, tonight? And I'd make up an excuse. I never told anyone. And then I was at a party at a friend's house when I saw a deck of cards on the side, and I said, oh yeah, I'll show you a couple of card tricks. My friends were laughing at me thinking, I'm just going to make a fool out of myself. But for the next 2 hours, I was just doing card trick after card trick after card trick. And they were all turning around to me and saying, you need to be doing this as a career. And that was kind of like the push that I needed. I worked hard, and the rest is history, I suppose. I became a magician. I only specialise in close-up magic. I don't do a stage show. I don't do illusions. I don't do kids' magic. Close-up magic is my niche, really, if you like. It's what I'm good at, and it's what I do best. And yeah, I've been very, very fortunate to make a career of it ever since. What did I do before I got into magic? Well, I left school at 16 and my mum and dad said to me, are you going to go to college? And I turned around and said no, because there was nothing I wanted to do. So then they told me I better have a job by Monday morning, otherwise they're kicking me out. So I went into retail. I had a job on Monday morning. It was a little bit different back then. You could literally go into places and say, are there any jobs going? Yeah, there is. Start on Monday if they felt that you were good enough. Not like today where it's interview after interview. It was a lot easier back then. But I went to work at Sports Soccer. That was the first job I ever had, now known as Sports Direct. I worked in retail, and then I eventually moved from working there into pharmacy at Royal Preston Hospital. My mum worked in production. There was a job coming up in pharmacy stores, which she told me about and said, why don't you go for it? You know, it'll be better money, better hours for you, and more of a career. You might like it. So I did. I went into to do pharmacy. I actually trained as a pharmacy technician and qualified as a pharmacy technician, but in my heart, I only ever wanted to be a magician. And no matter what happened, all I ever wanted to do was go back to performing magic. I did leave the hospital and worked in retail. I became a commercial manager where I was over a group of pharmacies and doing the buying and the selling, but nothing, again, came close to performing magic. And I would feel very fortunate that I found something that I wanted to do from a young age. You know, there are people even now who are in the 40s and the 50s who still don't really know what they want to do in life. You know, to find out that I wanted to be a magician at 16, even though it sounds ridiculous and it was difficult, you know, having that was a blessing really, because I had a goal and I had a focus. Dealing with fails. How do you deal with fails? Well, this is a great question, but we're all going to fail at something, whether we like it or not. And you kind of look at failure as two things. You either get down in the dumps about it and feel like the world's against you and that nothing's going right and, oh, you know, I just can't do it anymore. Or you use it as a springboard to say, you know what? I'm not going to let this bother me. And I always think that it's the mindset that you've got to have if you fail. You know, no matter what it is, it could be something small, it could be something major. It doesn't matter. You've got to have a positive mindset. You've got to dust yourself down. You've got to get back up and say, you know what, I'm not finished yet. We go again. And sometimes I always compare myself to Rocky Balboa. You know, you can get hit, he gets hit on the canvas, but he keeps getting up and keeps saying, you know what, I'm going to go again and go again and go again. And that's my mindset. I just go again. And I've had some big fails, I've had some small fails. It could be something where a trick hasn't quite gone to plan at an event, or it could be I've been pitching for something for 6 months and it's all fallen flat. Put it to one side. Get up, go again, and work harder. And that's the key. You know, we don't give up. I love watching motivational videos. I love watching stories about people who have come from nothing, because I've come from nothing. I grew up on a council estate. My mum and dad didn't have a lot of money. They worked hard. And my dad, as well as a full-time job, he used to fix electrical items like electric kettles and things like that, which he would then sell to make a bit of extra money. I do worry about the younger generation coming through, that they expect to be good at things and they expect for everything to go their way. And unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. And I always think, you know, when we're dealing with failure, if everything did go so well and we never failed at anything, would we ever learn? No. And it'd probably be a bit boring, you know, because if you're given everything, it doesn't have the same meaning. Whereas when when you've taken the knocks, when you've had to get up and go again, when you've really worked your socks off to get something, it means something. And so for me, my mindset and my positive look on things is, I think, the best way of dealing with failure. And if you have a bad day, I always think to myself, tomorrow's a new day. I might fail today, but I'm not going to fail tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to learn from my mistakes or learn from that failure, and I'm going to come back stronger, better, and just keep looking forward. Never look backwards, keep looking forward. And that is the best way anyone, I believe, can deal with failure. So I thought it'd be a great idea just to talk about one of the events that I've been performing at and just sort of explain how my magic can work at that event. And I thought it'd be great to talk about awards evenings. I seem to have done loads of awards evenings so far this year, so I thought, you know what, it's going to be great talking about it. And there's normally two typical structures to an awards evening. Firstly, you'll get your drinks reception. This is as guests are arriving. Then they'll be seated and they'll enjoy a 3 or a 4-course meal. And then that'll be followed by the presentation of the awards and finishing off with some live music or a DJ. Now, what is proven to be just as, if not more popular, especially when there are lots of awards to present, is having your drinks reception as normal as guests are arriving, then moving on to the meal, and then in between the courses, the awards are presented. So, the starter gets served and cleared, then you'll have a selection of awards presented, then the main course will be served and cleared, then another selection of awards, and then dessert will be served and then cleared, and then that is when the rest of the awards are presented. Then the evening will conclude with live music or a DJ. Having me perform close-up magic at an awards evening is a brilliant idea for several reasons. Firstly, it serves as an excellent icebreaker during the drinks reception as guests are starting to arrive. It instantly sparks conversation and intrigue, and when people see the flashes of fire, the plumes of smoke, and hear people laughing and enjoying themselves, people want to be involved. And what I do is instantly create an engaging talking point, and it sets a lively and captivating tone for the evening. By performing walk-around magic, I'm able to effortlessly join in conversations, engage with guests, and then get lots of people involved. Get everyone talking and set the evening off with a bang. As the event progresses, my performances ensure that the atmosphere remains dynamic and vibrant, and it prevents any chance of the evening becoming stale. Moreover, during lulls between courses or as the guests wait for the next dish, my magic adds an extra layer of entertainment. It keeps everyone engaged and enthralled. Now, a key factor to performing during the meal and in between courses is to ensure I'm not disrupting the flow of the food and not performing as guests are eating. So, to get round this, what I normally do is liaise with the staff before the food is served and just find out which table will be served first and which will be served last. By doing this, I can begin with the table that will be served last and work backwards. Now, once we meet in the middle with the staff, I can then go to where they first started serving, because by this time, guests will have finished that course and they'll just be sat waiting either for the table to be cleared or for the next course to arrive. So I can then dive in, do some magic and keep everything flowing. Now, by doing this, I'm not in the way of the staff, and I am ensuring guests have something to enjoy during that lull of waiting for the food to be cleared or waiting for food to be served. Now, going back to the event I did at the conference centre at Manchester Airport, I was booked to perform right at the end of the evening when the band began their first set. Remember, not everyone is going to want to hit the dance floor. People like to catch up with friends, they like to talk about the awards that they've won with each other, and so there's loads of people always in the bar area or just sat at tables, just chatting and just enjoying themselves. So one reason I wanted to start making these vlogs is to tell you some of the fails I have had over the last 16 years of performing. Social media, as we know, tends to be the place where we all post about the good stuff. And so many people, when they see me, talk about how they've seen me here, there and everywhere, and they're saying, oh, this performance looks great, and oh, this video is brilliant. But honestly, I will be totally lying if I told you every single performance has been an absolute huge success without a problem. Magic does go wrong from time to time, and it does go off script, and it can give you some pretty scary moments, and I have had my fair share, let me tell you, and I thought it'd be great just to share with you some of the stories where things haven't quite gone to plan. And this one is one I'm always going to remember. It certainly shows how you can go from hero to zero in the blink of an eye. So I was booked to perform at a 21st birthday party, and it was a very, very dark venue. You couldn't really see much. It was a bit like a nightclub, to be honest with you. That was just the way that they wanted it to be. And I was just mingling around doing my thing. And it was going great. Everyone was loving the magic. They were laughing and cheering. I did really feel like nothing could go wrong. And I approached my next group, and I decided to ask if I could borrow somebody's ring. And this girl said, yeah, she took it off, and I made it vanish. And the trick finished where her ring would appear inside of a sealed envelope. And everything went well. I reached in my wallet, pulled out the envelope, and inside the envelope, which you could feel, was her ring. And she took the envelope off me and she said, oh my God, I can feel it. It's inside the envelope. She ripped open the envelope and noticed there was a business card inside. She decided to go for the business card first. She pulled it out, looked back inside the envelope, and her ring was gone. Completely gone. Nowhere to be seen. She turned to me and went, oh, come on, where's my ring? What have you done with it? And at this point, I was like, oh no, it's in the envelope. And she went, no, it's not. You're messing around. Come on, where is it? Where have you put it? And for the next 5 minutes, I found myself trying to convince her that I wasn't joking and that I didn't have a clue where her ring was. And it just got really awkward. She just genuinely thought I was messing about and it was going to appear somewhere else. I was genuinely worried because I was thinking I haven't got a clue where this ring is, and I'm trying to find a way of getting her to believe me. I got my phone out, I started scanning the floor trying to find it, and I just couldn't see it anywhere. And then all of a sudden, somebody came up to the group and said, oh, what's this on the floor? I've just stood on it. And it was her ring. It was all twisted and bent out of shape, and this girl just looked horrified. Now, luckily, as I mentioned earlier in this vlog, I am insured, and so I did offer to buy her a new ring. However, I was kind of relieved when she said, don't worry, it's just a fashion ring. It wasn't even expensive. It was just like an accessory. And she kind of just took this ring and just walked off. And honestly, I thought, flipping it, that could have gone, it could have been a lot worse, because if it would have been like a diamond ring and the diamond wouldn't have been there, or, you know, it had a lot of sentimental value, I would have been in a real mess. Honestly, it was horrible. And then just as I was about to move on, somebody tapped me on my shoulder, and I turned around, it was just a young lad, and he said, excuse me, who are you? I said, oh, I'm the magician. I said, I'll show you something. He went, no. He said, to be honest with you, you're not welcome here. So, there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, so please feel free to comment on this video and I'll answer any questions that you have in the next vlog. Don't forget to discuss your event, and you can reach me through jasonraymagic.com or through any of the social media channels. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one soon.